Hey guys, how's everybody doing tonight?
Hello.
I'm Corey,
And I'm Lori.
and we're the Carnivore Journey crew. We've been on a journey for the past a little bit over 4 months, following a carnivore way of eating. For those of you that are new, uh, together we've lost over 80 pounds eating this way, and we're here tonight to talk to you about it. Talk it live. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them in the live chat, and we'll do our best to get to them as we go through the other stuff that we're going to talk about tonight.
We got quite a bit to talk about. We might not get to it all,
Yep,
but we'll try.
we'll try for sure. Well, let's see. I would like to take a minute and ask any new viewers to just take a second, hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of the cool stuff we've got coming up. We already have a video that's coming out this Saturday that we did with Christy at Meeting Wellness. We did a cook along. So Laurie taught Christy how to make a carnivore friendly dessert,
Yes, I did.
and so they both cooked it, and you get to see how it all turned out, and you can cook along with us.
Yes.
It's a great video. We had a lot of fun filming it with Christy. Great person to work with. So that was a lot of fun. So if you're here, please hit that thumbs up button. That means a lot to us, and it, of course, lets YouTube know to show our videos to more people just like you.
Yeah.
All right. So earlier this week, I saw a video from Kerry at Homestead How talking about his cruise experience. And we've talked on this channel before about our cruise experiences
Yes.
and how it was difficult to stay on plan, not necessarily because of what the cruise line was feeding us, but because of the choices that we made. Um, and I know for a fact that pretty much any cruise line, if you tell them that you have eating restrictions, they will honor that, and their chefs will make sure that your dishes are made according to whatever way of eating that you have. You know, people that are gluten free, people that are vegan, uh, it doesn't really matter. They want to service their guests, and if you have any special needs, you let them know, and they'll take care of it.
Mhm.
So, um, a lot of people don't know that going into a cruise, but you can email them and say, "Hey, look, I got special needs. I need to eat kosher or whatever it happens to be." If you let them know with enough time in advance, they can meet those needs. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up an email here that, well, this is their response. But if you look at this email that I down at the bottom here that I sent to Royal Caribbean, and nope, my cursor's not going to show up there. But down at the bottom it says, "Hello, my wife and I are on an elimination diet and only eat meat and animal products. We do not eat any grain, gluten, vegetables, or vegetable oils. While we do not need desserts or breads, we do need to ensure that the meat portions of the meal and appetizers are sufficient to meet our individual needs. Basically, we eat steaks or other meats cooked in animal fats or butter, along with limited cheese and other dairy products with limited spices and no sugars of any kind." That basically sums up what we would need to tell the chefs when we're ordering our food. And yeah,
And the only thing that you could add to that email when you're sending is that maybe you're doing it for health reasons too.
yeah, you could definitely say that. You know, I'm on an elimination diet. I've got autoimmune condition or whatever it happens to be, and I'm on this special diet to manage that condition. So we got an email back. You can see that starting at the top. "Hello, Corey and Lori. Thank you for your follow-up email regarding the upcoming sailing. It was a pleasure to assist you today. We have noted that both of you are only eating meats typically on board. Please discuss your needs with the wait staff in the main dining room or any specialty dining venue you may visit, and they will ensure that you are able to have sufficient portions to have a happy and healthy cruise. Thank you for choosing Royal Caribbean, which is what we're sailing on. we look forward to welcoming you on board with us soon. So, fairly straightforward. They said it shouldn't be a problem. Um, Generally, on a cruise, if you want two steaks, you can get two steaks. Sometimes they're small. You never really know what you're going to get, but you can get enough food. And if you ask them to prepare it in a specific way, you shouldn't have any problems with vegetable oils or spices or other hidden ingredients that you wouldn't want to have. So I just wanted to put that out there, clear the air, let people know that that is an option for you.
Mhm.
So, all right. So moving on. I know that you had some things that you wanted to talk about as well, all right?
Me? Yes, I do. And it kind of plays along with, not really plays along, but the cruise would be a good transition because it's more about foraging and going
Right.
out. Because this weekend I went out with a friend of mine and we wanted to have breakfast. So I was like, yeah, I can get eggs and bacon anywhere. Well, as you can get eggs and bacon pretty much anywhere that serves breakfast. My question is, do you want to ask the question? Or if you ask the question, do you really want the answer? So that's something I think we should all kind of ponder just for a moment because, yeah, when, I talk with my hands. Sorry, I'm going to start moving around. Yes, I'm carnivore. And yes, I only eat a certain amount of ingredients in food, and it's all animal products. And I'm pretty serious. We've been on this journey. We want to continue to, get our health back and, take control of
Right.
that and, and continue eating the way that we're eating. However, I don't wanna be the extremist where, I'm like, "Oh my god, if it touches if something touches this, can I not eat it?" And this, that, and the other. So I guess that's for you guys to kind of figure out how. I
How
don't know.
sensitive you are to certain
Okay, thank you, that
ingredients.
was good,
I
yes.
mean, that's always a big thing. I know some people, if they get a touch of vegetable oil, they'll have flare-ups
Yes, yes.
of a number of different autoimmune conditions. And so that can be a very serious thing. And I think we as carnivores, we try not to, rock the boat or cause any
Mhm.
problems. But at the same time, um, you've got people that eat other ways that get they demand that they have things a certain way as well.
Right.
So, um, with that said, I think we have the right, especially in any establishment that we go to, that we're paying them to cook our food. We have the right to ask them or to require that, our eggs be cooked in butter and not in vegetable oil, as an example, because that's one of the things that Carrie talked about was that they wouldn't do that for them. They would use some kind of vegetable oil spray, but they wouldn't use butter. No, 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 no. That's not acceptable. I have a severe allergy to vegetable oils, and he obviously does because he had a lot of issues pop up, health issues for him pop up while he was on that cruise. So he's got a severe health issue that's related to those type of ingredients. There's no reason that you should feel ashamed for asking that the food that you paid for be cooked in a way that meets your needs.
So to continue with that, I was going to talk about my experience that I had because I asked the question and I got an answer I didn't want to hear. And so I was very uncomfortable with it because they use margarine and not butter. And like Corey said, you have a right to say, hey, can you do this, that, or the other. I was embarrassed. Like, I was like, "Oh, okay." And it wasn't that I was embarrassed because they were doing that. It was the company that I was keeping, and I didn't wanna make a big deal out of things because of, I was with a person that also has restrictions of their own in a different way, and they're not what I would call obsessive, and I didn't wanna be that person either because, I appreciate that they don't freak out when there's certain things and, so
Right.
I chose to keep my mouth shut, but I inside I was, like, making myself nauseous and, like, I was like, "I don't even wanna eat this." Like, if I was just by myself, I would probably not have I would have been like, "You know what? Nah, I'm good, and I'm gonna go." But I knew that we were spending hours out, and I wanted to get some food in my belly. And so I went ahead with it and was like, "All right, maybe it's just a little bit. Let's just see how it is." And I it was more of like, let's experiment to see how this is. It made me think all these different things, how I want to handle it in the future, things that came up that I didn't necessarily know or knew that were there or that was going to bother me and stuff like that. So like it's a journey, you got to kind of experience some of these things sometimes to kind of know where you stand on certain things. And so going forward, yes, I would probably charge battery.
Oh, well, that's not good. Sorry, guys. I was supposed to.
God, we can't take him anywhere.
Okay. Hang on a second.
1 moment later.
Should have been. Let's see. Let me change this camera. There we go.
Hello.
Trying something new. Trying to use a different camera,
It's a
and it
journey. You
just didn't
gotta
work.
you gotta just experience things to know
It died on
where
me.
you're at. So next time, note to self,
Yeah.
charge camera.
No, it was charged, and I actually had it plugged into USB.
I'm just
You
playing.
know,
Okay.
the
So
USB should be powering the camera. I don't know what the deal is with that, but
yes.
that didn't work. So we're back to our webcam for now.
Yes. So just to kind of finalize the whole foraging and eating out. Don't be embarrassed, no matter who you are with or what you're eating or where you're at. Don't worry about asking for modifications because everybody's got their right, and a lot of places will do modifications for certain diets, and especially if you address it as an elimination diet or health, due to, health reasons.
Right.
And they won't ask what those health reasons are most of the time. So
Yeah.
they'll be more than happy to accommodate. Um,
And I think if they can, that shouldn't be a big issue. You know, w- we we have a restaurant essentially, and there's some things that we can't do. Um, you know, um, but if someone wants their eggs cooked in butter, it's not that big of a deal.
as long as they have butter in their establishment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and hopefully most people would, but
But that does bring me to another talking point, if I can continue on.
sure.
um, is when I said that, the whole control thing, that, sometimes you can't control what they cook with, but if you ask, then, maybe they can do that. So I kind of, my little notes say control versus out of control. So sometimes, as carnivores and transitioning and stuff, we feel like, everything's out of control and out of whack. And like, oh my God, like I don't know what I'm doing. And, am I
As
eating
a new
enough?
carnivore,
As a new
you know,
carnivore, yes.
let's not confuse that. Once you get your feet on the ground, um, not that it's smooth sailing because nothing's ever necessarily smooth sailing.
Right. You gotta
But yeah, as a new carnivore, it's like, listen to all these
right,
different people, and what do I do, and how do I eat 5 pounds of steak a day? I can't do that. So
right. So I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the control that we have. You know, we have the control to ask for a modification. We control what we put in our mouth,
yeah,
good, bad, whatever it is. We control that at any time. No, you just take it out, or or you put it in. That is something that we can control. And the other thing that we can control is our actions. Like, again, asking for a modification, or choosing to not do something,
right.
or whatever that action may be.
And we had several instances of that this past week. Because we had, let's see, it was Tuesday, or no, I'm sorry, Thursday. We had a holiday party that we had to go to,
Hmm.
and it was at a restaurant, and restaurant we've never been to before. Um, and the group um, worked out a deal to where they brought out appetizers
Mm.
that were free, and then we ordered our meal.
Well, they were bought
Well, they were
by
bought. Okay,
right,
so
not
they
from
were
the
bought
restaurant.
by the organization, I guess,
Yes.
and then we paid for our meals, and
It was all fried stuff.
every single item on the appetizers was fried.
Yeah.
It was fried cheese curds, it was fried pickles, it was fried jalapenos,
Yeah, and
and
fries, and they're like, "Oh,
and
you want some?" We're like,
fries
"No,
and
we're good.
all this
We're
stuff. I'm
good.
just
We're
like,
good."
okay, well, we got to find something on the menu that we can eat. We
Now,
look at the
didn't you
menu.
eat though shortly before going just in case or a little bit? Yes.
Yeah, I
Which
think I,
again, we have control over.
yeah. So I wasn't sure. I knew that they had burgers and hot dogs and things like that. I didn't really know what all they had. So I did eat a little bit before I left. Um, and they ended up having burgers. So we got, I don't know what it was, a triple burger.
We split a
Yeah.
triple burger that I didn't ask for cheese, but it came out with cheese
Yeah.
on it because they had American cheese and I
Yeah. It
try
was
not to
American
use
cheese.
that.
I would not want to eat that,
Yeah,
but
normally I wouldn't have
normally I
eaten that.
wouldn't eat it.
And then we got wings and
Wings, which of course unless you're going to Buffalo Wild Wings, they're going to be fried in seed
vegetable oil,
oil. So,
yes. So
um, but out of the choices that we had, and to date, we haven't found
that we have any
that we
sensitivities
we
to
have
that.
a serious sensitivity to seed oils. Um, I would like to avoid them because I know from everything I've heard and all the scientific studies that I've heard about, those things can take up to 2 years to get out of your system.
Mhm.
Because what they do is they get into your cells and they look like fat to your cells and they block certain receptors. I forget. I was listening to someone,
It's got a
a
scientific brain on.
doctor or a scientist talking about it one time, and I was like, okay, that's really interesting. But it can take up to 2 years for all that stuff to work its way out of your system.
Right.
And I heard, I guess it was Dr. Lisa Wiedemann, who's an ophthalmologist, who mentioned that styes are actually caused by all those seed oils because it's an oil, something that your body doesn't have a way to process. And so styes and some other thing where you get like oil, your oil glands in your eyelids get clogged up with just like a waxy gunk from those seed oils. But anyway, so all right, sorry, nerded out on you.
So those
I
of
had
you
a
that
habit
just
of doing
joined us,
that.
yes, we should. I know it's live, but we should put a little nerd out time.
Yeah. Nerd out disclaimer.
Ah,
All right, I'm gonna
so,
throw this up real quick. Yep. Make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe button if you haven't already.
and tell us where you're from if you'd like to share that with us.
We appreciate every one of you guys out there that's viewing our videos. We get some just amazing comments, and we must be getting somewhere because we got a troll post from some vegan today. So, all right, we're making headway.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the control and out
Yeah,
of control. So I gotta. That's part of my job. I gotta reel us all back in. But so some of the things that we can't control that we need to be mindful of is others' reactions
yeah,
and others' actions. And so,
that was kind of on point though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't have worried so much that I would have been judged at that point had I asked to cook it in butter. That is something that I need to kind of realize and move forward and be a little different that way. I'm the person that doesn't like to complain about food or send food back, even though I like what I like.
Yeah.
I am very picky. I like to say particular. But so that is something and that the reactions of others, that's gonna kind of slingshot me to the holidays. There's a lot of anxiety from myself and from people, that going into the holidays. where you're around
Right.
family, you're around friends, you're going to parties and you're doing all this stuff and there's all these people around and maybe you're not ready to come out of the carnivore closet.
Yeah.
I don't specifically say, "Oh, hey, I'm carnivore," no,
Yeah.
because they'll be like, "Oh, you should eat your vegetables." They're whatever. And like, I don't want to have that conversation. So I limit myself to, and I've changed how I say things because I'm like, oh, I can't have that. And I'm like, no, I can have that. I'm choosing not to have that.
Right.
So that's kind of helping with my mindset. But with being around family and friends, it's not that you want to please them, but you want to please them. And you all these years that you're around these people, you've always ate the same way, you've always done the
Yeah.
same things, and that's what they're used to. And now you're going and changing. And they're like, wait a minute, wait, what are you doing? And then they're gonna have all the thing they're gonna have plenty of things to say to you. And so we can control our actions and how we respond and what we put in our mouth
Yeah.
the end of the day. We can't control them, and that's just something that we're gonna have to be aware of or have a plan going forward about that.
Yeah. Because I don't think either one of us look at this as a short-term solution.
Not at all.
No.
Mm.
So we're not doing this for 6, 8 months, a year, until we lose weight and get in shape, and then we'll go back to eating a standard diet. It's not going to work.
No, because
I
this
mean,
works for us.
we've done that before.
Mhm.
And what happens when you go back to eating a standard American diet is you get fat again and you get sick again. And I'm not going to go back through that whole uh, loss of control again. I like the fact that I can come home, cook a steak, eat dinner, be done, and go back to whatever I was doing.
Mhm.
It's so easy. And, we'll probably talk
And it
about
makes
that
you feel good.
sometime. Yeah. Why why we prefer this over keto. That's one of the early comments that we got was, well, why don't you just do keto instead of doing so restrictive carnivore? And well, there were a number of reasons,
Do
but
we wanna share that now, or do we wanna do
yeah,
another
we'll do another video where we'll probably
stay
line them
tuned?
all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things for me, at least, because I tend to do a lot of the food prep, is the time required. We were cooking so many things on keto, just trying to keep the variety up and, keto treats and this and that and using all these different ingredients and making a new dish every night that guess what? We fell off of keto mainly because I didn't have time to prep that way anymore. Couldn't do it. I was working 2 jobs. Um, probably putting 80 hours a week in between those 2 jobs, and I just had no time. Half the time I was eating my meals at the other job, and I didn't have time to fix anything, so it just was whatever was at hand, and that was a problem. With carnivore, if I come home, in 30 minutes, I can have a steak ready to go and maybe a side of fish or shrimp or something like that, and we're good to go.
Or you can be like me, I have leftovers all the time from my dinner, and I can just pop that in the microwave for 30 seconds
Yep.
and cut up my steak and eat it. And tonight, oh god, I had pork belly. My superfood, I love it. Anyways, so thank you for making my pork belly. Um, so I am going away for the weekend. I've got some family commitments that I need to attend to, and I've been a little anxious about having enough meat to eat.
Right.
Um, and I'm gonna kind of piggyback this my last
At
little
least your
talking
brother
point.
and sister-in-law know that we're carnivore.
Yes, they
We
do.
were with them
Like
back in
2 weeks
August.
after we started, yeah,
2 weeks after we started carnivore, we went to stay with them in Maine
yeah.
at a cabin that they rented, and you know, so they knew that we were carnivore.
Right. So I've been anxious and I'm going to kind of tie this into cravings and stress eating and stress cravings. So I'm going to kind of talk about all of it. And, so I was worried that I wouldn't get enough of meat to eat, and where would I get it from? And, am I gonna have to be like, no, because when you're visiting somebody, they want to feed you and they want to make you stuff, but they make their stuff. And so you don't want them to do something differently than they're used to doing. And so you don't want to inconvenience anybody, especially, you're kind of staying at their house and this, that, and the other.
Right.
And you want to be like, oh no, I'm not, don't worry about that. So back to the pork belly. So Corey made me a whole thing of pork belly and we froze it so that I can travel with it tomorrow and not have to worry about having a cooler and stuff. So I will have that. I will have bacon, pocket bacon, although it's old bacon, it tastes very good, but I'm going to eat it anyway because you never know when you get hungry. You're going to want, I'm going to eat the bacon. And then I had some leftover steak that I had 2 4-ounce little patties. They're probably a little smaller than that, but I froze those too. So I think I'm good for a while, and like I've got plans that at least if I get hungry and they don't have something and all they have is cookies and desserts and here we go with the cravings and the
Mm,
stress, and like that's why I'm tying it all in.
right.
Like if I am not satiated, I will struggle. And this the other day when I was out with my friend and I had that whole breakfast fiasco, we went into a store and it had all of these sweets on the counter and I was not fully satiated. I turned around and walked out of the area. I couldn't do it. I'm struggling this season with it's not the cravings that I want to eat it per se, because I don't have the cravings from the sweet because I'm not eating sweet. But what's happening, and this is where I'm finding it a little strange, and I've really been thinking about it a lot and really trying to understand it. I'm having mind cravings, hot chocolate, cookies, marshmallows, like all of the stuff that you are used to eating during the holidays and when it's cold. And it's not that I'm like, oh my God, I have to have it. Like, but I'm like, I remember what that tastes like. Oh, and that tastes
Mm,
good. And oh my God, those cookies look delicious, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my, like I can't, so I really, and like you can hear, I'm like, it's I've been dealing with that. So I don't know if it's the stress of the holidays, if it's just seeing it so much around, on TV in people's hands,
right.
being that it's cold and I don't want something hot to drink. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to work that all out. But that day in the store, I went in there and it just kept replaying and replaying. And I turned around and I walked away and I was fine.
Yeah.
But, like, right now, I'm satiated from dinner and the pork belly. I'm saying it now, and I have no issues. Like, I'm not
And sometimes you
thinking
got to
about it.
do that. You got to be willing to walk away because and I'm going to kind of go philosophical here for a minute,
Oh, wait,
but
nerd out, nerd out. No, I'm just kidding.
not exactly, but you know, we talk ourselves into failure.
We can talk ourselves into anything.
Yeah.
I know I
I
can.
mean, we're like, "Oh, well, I've got that party, so or this family event, or it's
Maybe just one.
Christmas, or it's Thanksgiving." It's like, "Oh," I heard another YouTuber talking about this, and it's like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna fall off anyway, so I might as well not even start right now." And you know what? You're setting yourself up for failure. You're not giving your internal strength the ability to shine and do what you need to do because
And I'm
you've
sorry.
got that power in you.
Mhm.
You can do this.
And it's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not okay to make mistakes. What I'm saying is that we give ourselves permission to
Mhm.
do that. You see, making mistakes or, it's like you can't fight the cravings at that moment. That's one thing. But when you start letting it go around in your head and around in your head and you decide, you know what, I'm going to give myself a break, or I'm going to have a cheat meal,
I only live
or
once.
I only live once, or I'm on vacation, so I'm going to eat
It
off
doesn't
plan.
count.
All those things are detrimental.
Yes.
All those things are setting you back because guess what? Now you've eaten those things again. they're back in your body, and your body's going to be demanding more, and then you're going to have to fight all those cravings over again, the real cravings that you have when you start off. And you know that's tough, having to go through that over and over and over again every time you decide to cheat. um, and we're not perfect. I'm not claiming to be
Not
perfect
by
at
a
all.
long shot.
I mean, you watch our videos, our last 2 cruises, we didn't
Do
do
very good.
that great.
No.
We ate things off plan. Um, and we went into it knowing that we were gonna eat things off plan, which is one of the main reasons that I sent an email to Royal Caribbean and said, "Hey,"
How can we,
and we talked about this last week on our live stream, that I had sent the email. I hadn't gotten a response at that point. Um, but that's why I'm laying it out there. I'm not going to give myself a chance to um, to just eat whatever. I want them to know up front so that they don't even present me with those things.
right.
And anytime you go on a cruise ship, they're going to put a basket of bread on your table,
And me, I
unless
could care
you're,
less.
yeah.
But you put a dessert in
I
front of
love
me.
bread.
Woo.
Um, so
Yeah.
that's one of the problems that you run into. Now, another thing that I see is that, okay, a thought that I had was, guess what? If you need to be antisocial for a month, 2 months, whatever it is, until you get your mental strength to the point where you can handle a social situation and not break down and crash and burn, if you need to do that for your own health. Seriously.
And find the support.
And yeah, find
There's a
the
lot of us
support
out
that you
there.
need, you know,
Mhm.
but if it's social engagements that are bringing you down and causing you those problems, maybe give those up for a little bit until you can get yourself to the point mentally where you can go to those things where you're seeing all this food that you used to eat that you're not going to eat now because it's off plan, and that you have the mental fortitude to go through that and to say no.
And, remember that this time of the year is very hard for people to do that.
Yeah, it
And they
is.
can't necessarily not go to celebrate the holiday that they celebrate. So, just keep that in mind that there are people out there that can help support you and just do the best you can.
Right?
It's one meal at a time, one step at a time.
Yep.
And just to kind of sum up the cravings versus the stress cravings and eating. So I wasn't sure until I actually wrote it out, the difference and if there were a difference between cravings and stress cravings. And, for me, I have been very anxious with the holidays. There's a lot going on. And so I think that the stress is mental, and that's kinda where all of the chocolate and the cookies and because that is my weakness. So I think that for me to be able to articulate where is this coming from, I think that I've kinda figured it out right here and now.
Yeah. Of course,
So yeah.
doesn't help that uh we love those holiday movies,
Well,
and Hallmark Channel and Lifetime and all the ones on Netflix, all that kind of stuff, and they're always drinking the hot chocolate and
with a
eating
gazillion
cookies and
marshmallows.
marshmallows and all
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. So if those things trigger you, you know, you just gotta recognize that
Don't
and
have it in the house.
figure out how to combat it. So
Yeah. Like, I was actually thinking about making, um, a hot chocolate or an eggnog using heavy whipping cream without, of course, sweetener, but using, like, cocoa powder, but I haven't done it. I don't really want to.
yeah,
So and those are things that I realize when I do have those cravings, I don't really want to do it, which is why I know it might not be a craving. So, that's why I was trying to figure out where is this all coming from and how do I combat it? So I don't know if that helps anyone, but for me, it was a realization. So thanks for
Yeah.
being here when I
And
had
if any
it.
of the things that we say help you or um, speak to you, just let us know. Put that in the comments. We're about done for the night, and
Hmm.
nobody's joined into chat, so
No, but we got some people watching. So thank you all for watching, and those who are watching us on the replay. Thank you
absolutely
for watching us on the replay as well. And even though it's not in the chat, put it in the comments. Tell us where you're from and
right.
um I don't know, whatever you want to say, because we're gonna read it.
Yeah, we read them all, and we love hearing from people that are getting something out of this.
Right.
And that's the whole point of this channel is to try to be an encouragement to others, to try to work through some of these mental challenges that we have of dealing with whether it's food addiction or whatever those challenges are. And for a lot of us, it is food addiction,
Yeah.
carb addiction. So um, we're here for you guys.
Yeah.
We love you all.
And if
Thank you for all the support. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe because we got a lot of cool content coming out.
And before you sign off, if there are any questions that you have or anything you'd like us to discuss, or like
Yeah.
whatever it is, let us know.
Yeah. If there's anything that we've kind of talked about in passing that you'd like to hear more about or want us to do, one of the live streams or a standalone episode of something on, just let us know.
Yeah. And remember to check us out on Saturday for the do I want to say the cooking
Yeah. It's
cooking on the
Inside Out Cream Puffs.
Inside Out Cream Puffs
Uh,
with Meeting Wellness.
yep. Christy at
Christy from
Meeting
Meeting
Wellness.
Wellness.
And
It was a lot of
it
fun.
was a lot of fun.
My mic didn't work very well, so just disclaimer.
Yeah. Sorry about that,
You won't
guys.
hear me very well. I mean, you can hear me, but it's the quality's not what we normally
The
would put
quality
out.
is
But
very poor. First time that we were trying to do um, kind of a remote live stream away from the laptop and using
mhm.
other gear and I thought it would work a certain way, but it didn't. All right. Thanks, Lambs. I'm sorry that you missed most of the live, but you can catch the replay,
Yes,
I'm sure. Um, all right. Well,
that's all we
I think
got.
that's all that we've got for this week. We
Thanks for
will,
coming out.
yeah,
Sorry.
thanks for coming out. We will catch you guys next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, unless we have something else going on. I think we may have had something. Is that right?
What? When next week?
Next
Oh,
Wednesday.
yes, we do. So we may go to
We
Tuesday.
Yeah, we may either go to
Mm,
Tuesday or just record it Tuesday
we might
to go
not do a
live
live
on
stream.
Wednesday to kind of keep it in the same time frame.
Hmm.
Our granddaughter's birthday party, I think, is next Wednesday evening.
Birthday and holiday celebration because we're
Yeah.
not going to be around. So
So,
there's some family commitments we have. Yeah.
yep. So, all right, guys, we will see you next week. And remember, stay
Stay strong,
strong, stay
stay
motivated,
motivated, and
and eat
eat
meat.
meat.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Over here. Bye. So I went to do that and I couldn't find